Cargo delivery to Northern Landslide in Zherbai Quarries. Hello there everybody and welcome to another episode of SnowRunner here at Overfed Gaming. I am the Overfed. We're starting here up at the helicopter landing pad within a new member in our fleet. This is the Sleiter ST 833 Chimera. Now we come way over here to the far right hand side to pick up two service spare parts because it's the only place that we can get them. We're in a task called the Hard Hat area on the Zherbai Quarries, which is part of the Almaty Region. Now we have to also bring a set of metal beams, and we got to bring both those and the service spare parts to the Northern Landslide, which is quite a ways away. But the metal beams that we got to pick up are in a warehouse quite a bit south of the garage. So what I did was I preset the Chimera up here at the helicopter landing pad, and I put the FEMM 37AT out at the warehouse because the FEMM has a 4-slot cargo box. So what we're going to do, this is our plan. What we're going to do is put these two service spare parts pallet in the back of the FEMM with a set of metal beams, and that which we will then deliver in one shot rather than having to do the whole thing twice. So this way you're kind of playing a tag team with the two trucks. This guy only has to go halfway and the other guy only has to go halfway, which kind of works out because I wanted to take this Chimera back out and practice with it a little bit more because I really kind of like it. It drives kind of cool. Now, I'm not quite sure on it yet. The jury's still out. I do love the huge tires that it has. It has no repair points up top. It's got a little bit of extra fuel, you know, but things like that should not be a problem here in the Zherbai Quarries. Anyhow, I thought I'd give it a shot and drive this stuff over in the difficult part of the task, because going with the FEMM 37AT with the articulating head might be a little bit more difficult going through here. So this way it kills two birds with one stone. I get these service spare parts brought down in a truck that can handle this kind of terrain, as you can tell. Now you do have to take it easy, obviously, because like I said many times, that going fast just doesn't help you in SnowRunner. Going fast only helps you get into more trouble and problems than you would care to have. So I go a little bit slower, take my time, and the fun is in the journey, not the destination. So I enjoy the game to its fullest. I love the graphics, which is the reason why I always keep turning the day-nighttime cycle forward so that I can be in driving in the daytime as much as possible, because I love to see it. Anyhow, we're going to be coming out of the hills here fairly quickly. I think the FEMM could have done it, but it would have been a little bit more difficult. So this is a good strategy, using two vehicles at the same time for one job and just kind of hand off from one to the other. Now we got a little ways to travel once we get on the highway, so we get a little bit of everything, but the highway travel is pretty standard. It's not difficult, obviously. It's just a flat road, right? There's a couple of little detours along the way, but nothing really to worry about. It's more, this particular task was more about the planning stages. You know, if you would have had to go from the garage all the way out to the helicopter landing pad, pick up these two, then go all the way over to the warehouse and pick up the beams and then go unload it all, it might have taken a little bit longer than what we're doing here. And this way you get to drive two different trucks, you know. And I think that this Sleiter ST 833, I think it's going to be part of my regular commute. I don't know how he does in the snow yet, but that's okay. We'll be back in the snow, I'm sure, soon enough, and we'll find out then, you know, as we're trying to build on our fleet and try and get as many different trucks as possible, and even the ones that we don't want to keep in our fleet, we'd like to take them out, take them out and try them just to see, because when you first play, well, when I first played this game, I discounted a lot of the other trucks and I went with the best truck that I found and then just kept playing with that one, which is okay, nothing wrong with that. But I've gotten to the point now where I'd like to try out a few different ones, and this Chimera is a really nice truck to drive. It's got lots of power, you know, but it's only got a 2-slot cargo bed. Now you can put a 3-slot flat deck on the back, but then you lose your crane. So, you know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So if you need to move three-slot cargo, you can either use this or you can use the Kenworth 963, whichever one you prefer. Anyhow, as we're coming up around the bend here, I believe that we're going to be hitting the garage is going to be on our left-hand side fairly quickly. Then we're going to head a little further south to an abandoned little town. And just there's the garage now. And just before that abandoned little town, there's a gas station. And I'm a stickler for even if you know you're not going to go much further, fuel up anyhow, because you never know. You might end up being at one part of the map and have another task right there for you to turn around and come back with. But if you don't have enough fuel, then you can't do that. So, which is the main reason why I always try to keep fueled up, just in case. This is all pretty standard driving, but boy, I tell you, what a nice game. Absolutely beautiful. I just love driving in this game. It's kind of relaxing, you know, kind of therapeutic for the overfed. Kind of wind down your day at the end of the day, and you go out and you do a little bit of driving, do a few tasks in SnowRunner, especially in the Almaty region. Some of them are difficult. I do gotta admit, I've already had a few that are really tough here, but there's also, you know, nice, easy-going ones that you have to do a little bit of planning, but they're more along the lines of what we're doing in this particular job. Not difficult, you know, they're attainable, but they just take a little bit more time in planning and then executing the plan. Now, as we come through that little detour, just up ahead is that deserted little town, and just before it is the fuel station. There we go. Now we only need 160, just over 160 liters. So we'll just load her up here. And while we're at it, we might as well change the time forward and get some bright sunshine. There we go. Let's go, fellas. We got a couple of service spare parts pallets to deliver. Now, when we get over to the warehouse, we're going to pull up beside the FEMM, and we're going to just hand bomb the 2 pallets over with the crane. Now, I usually use the yellow crane. I haven't used this one too much, and I don't think it's any different, but we'll soon find out. We'll soon find out, as the warehouse is just up ahead on the right-hand side, just outside of town here. There we go. Now you can see the arrow on the map already. Not too far away. It's weird, you know, when you look at the little mini map to see how far you got to go way to the other end of the map, and it looks like it's a long ways, and then when you start driving, it's minutes and you're there. So it's kind of deceiving when you look at the mini map, so you can only go by that according to where things are, but not for distance. It doesn't really relate. Not to me anyhow. Anyhow, we got a little turnaround inside here, and I decided to go on the right-hand side. Now you load up, the loading area is on the left, so I decided to go on the right and park it right there, and that way I can just pull up beside it and move the pallets of service spare parts over. And try and get as close as possible, because I'm not quite sure how strong this crane is, like I said, but I don't think we should have any problems. We got to unpack the cargo before we can pull it off of there, and we activate the crane. Now you just got to make sure you turn your crane around until the selector button, of course, is above the pallet. And when it gets activated, you can pull it up. Well, it seems to work the same as the other one, but this one almost seems to be stronger. It doesn't seem to worry about lifting a crate like this too much. Anyhow, because we got a set of metal beams to go in behind it, which takes up 2 cargo slots, we're going to put these as close to the front as possible so that the computer doesn't accidentally pack it in a slot a little bit further back. This way, if you put them close near the front, it'll pack them into 2 front places. Then when we got that done, we restored the crane and back the Chimera up a little bit so he's out of the way. Because you're going to have to take a fairly tight turn with the FEMM. Alright, and we shut her down because there's no point in wasting any fuel. Might as well turn the engine off. And then we'll change and jump into the other truck. There we go. Start her up. First we got to pack the cargo. Okay, now we can go get those metal beams. Now, as you know, it's not that I'm not fond of the articulating steering head of the FEMM. It's just that I'm not very good at it. But I do like the truck. I think the truck looks cool. It's fun to drive. It's a real challenge, but we're not going to shy away from it. The Overfed's going to keep trying because I want to keep him in our fleet. He's a powerful truck with big tires on it and carry a lot of weight. He could be a real big advantage to Overfed Gaming and all the jobs we got to complete. So we're going to keep practicing. So, you know, my turning is a little bit jerky, and hopefully you'll bear with me on that until I can get better with it. It is a little bit of a tougher truck to try and drive, but that's okay. That's all right. We can handle a little bit of a challenge, as long as they don't put signs too close to the road like this one. as we knock it over. Boy, what a game! This is absolutely awesome. So now we got to head her back to town, and just before we get to the end of the T, we got to turn left so we can make a little detour around the center of town, and we can end up on the left-hand side. As soon as we get over there. What a beautiful truck. It drives nice when you can just go straight, when you don't have to turn too tight. But that's okay. We got our four slots of cargo filled. We're ready to go and deliver. We're not too far away. We're almost there, you know. So we're just going to take a bypass here because, like I said, if you go to the end of the street and then turn left, there's a big hole in the road. So we have to be over a couple of blocks. And then we'll just go to the end here and then turn right again. It's amazing. You would think that they would have a few of these roads paved being in town and all. But I guess it's either a town that's dying or a town that's just being built. Anyhow, when you get to the end here, if you look to the right, at the end of the road here, then you can see where the hole in the road is, and we got to turn to the left. A little bit of a mud pit here, but that's not much of a problem for the FEMM. He just drags everything right through it. Not a problem. See, there's no way that you can get through or by that road repair. I've looked really closely, and you just can't get through there. So you have, each time when you've got to be on this side of the town, you got to go around it through that little shortcut. Now over here we hang a right, and then it's just a matter of being up the road a little ways, and there the marker just came up on the screen. Oh, and jumped away again. There it is. As you know, when you see that marker, you know we're getting close. And there's two because it's a landslide, and there's you can drop this cargo off on either side of the landslide. If you could only drop it off on this side, there'd only be one marker. So the other one disappeared again, but he'll be back later. Now I don't know what was going on here, but it seemed like every time we had to go up a little bit of a hill, the FEMM had a little bit of trouble with power, and I got it floored. I got all-wheel drive and diff lock is always on, so I can't see why he's going so slow, but we're just going to go with that. In automatic he should go a little faster because that's not a lot of cargo that we got up on the back there. So we're going to have to try and figure that out, because if he isn't strong enough to haul cargo that's only 4 slots, then we're going to have a problem because we need the power. Now up ahead here is a little detour, and there again, you know, the detour is not really a problem, but with some of these trucks, every once in a while you'll notice it, that when they hit a rock, rather than sliding off the rock, they tend to climb towards it, and I think that's what happened here. I tried to move over a little bit further, and the rock grabbed the tire and pulled the head up on the hill there. So I thought, no, I'm going to tip that if you keep going. So I thought we better go back and try again, and then it pulls me the other way. Wow, what have I got to do here to get through the middle? I couldn't get it right in the middle, I guess. See, we're up against the rock there. So we back her up and try and reposition it, and I think we get it that time. So as you can tell, just operator error. Had I continued driving on either side, it probably would have tipped my truck over. But you're going slow enough and taking it easy, and you got lots of time to pull in the ponies, rein her back, and keep it from tipping by not going any further or faster than you needed to. So anyhow, just up ahead there, you can see where the 2 markers are. It's not very far away, and like I said, I don't know what was happening or going on, because going up this hill here, the truck is going awfully slow. That should be going a little faster than that, but that's okay. We'll just go with it. We'll go with the flow. And then when I came up here, you can see the square where the hashtag square is up straight, almost straight ahead of the truck, a little bit to the left. I thought I had to drop it off there for some reason. I had another cranial cramp and I wasn't thinking straight. So I had to back it up and bring it up the road. But that's, you know, that's okay. We all make mistakes. Anyhow, there we go, a little bit too far, and then we realize, oh no, that's where we accept the task. So we got to go back down, and we got to turn. But then of course we didn't back it down far enough, and we ran into the cement block. It's going to be one of those days. You know, when things like that keep happening, it's going to be one of those days. But we do eventually finish and complete the task, and had a wonderful time doing it. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe even got a tip out of it. You know, absolutely awesome. Love to see you back at OpenFed Gaming again real soon. And until that time, you've been running in a tag team match with a FEMM and a Sleiter ST 833 Chimera with me, the OpenFed.